All right, guys, welcome to Web3 Global Talks, episode 167, powered by Ape.Bond. Definitely going to play one more song just to let everybody get in here. Seems Twitter's being a little weird this morning, but nothing new there. Yeah, just to remind you guys, if you're in here, please like, comment, and retweet while we get started. And yeah, just play one more song, guys. All right, guys. Welcome to Web3 Global Talks, episode 167, powered by Ape.Bond. I think a couple of our people are just lagging a little bit behind, so just want to give them a little bit of a chance to get in here. I see Inferix going to try to add them up here. Like I said, maybe having some weird connection issues this morning, but regardless, I wanted to remind you guys to like, comment, retweet out the space. If you haven't been here before, what we like to do is also start off with a little bit of a round of introductions, just so that everybody can kind of get acquainted with who you are as a person, and who you're representing. It takes about a couple minutes of time. If you guys are, if you have anything you want to share up to the top, rather, you can do so by clicking share on any of your tweets and then share it to space. And you guys can do that at any time that you want to. No worries. Okay, I'm going to add Inferix up here real quick and see if we can get them up here. And yeah, we'll go ahead and start with the introductions from top to bottom with our friends and our sponsors of the space today, Ape.Bond.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for having us on again, sir.
Yeah, thank you for being here, man.
My name is Julian. I'm one of the co-founders and head of BD over at Ape.Bond. For TLDR on us, we actually originally launched as ApeSwap back in February 2021. We were a DEX on BNB chain, pretty major, right behind Pancake, back during the last cycle. But wanted to provide more value to the industry and do something a bit more interesting than just running a DEX. And yeah, that's when we created the bonds concept. It's really simple way for projects to raise stable coins, blue chips, LPs. Pretty straightforward. Projects allocate tokens they wish to get a return on. We distribute these tokens to users at a slightly discounted rate, vested over time, and then the projects receive the capital directly. We've worked with over 170 projects, have sold over 50,000 individual bonds, and yeah, we're really excited to be what is pretty much the first and only on-chain OTC marketplace. So if you have a project or you're a founder and you have a token, definitely feel free to reach out. We are here to help. And if you're a user, definitely come check out the platform. We've got lots of your favorite tokens available on discount. But anyway, that's it for me. Thanks again for having us up. Excited to be here.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you guys for coming, and thank you guys for making it possible this week. We appreciate it. All right. Wi-Fi map.
GM everyone, thank you for having me here. My name is Alex. I'm a BD at Wi-Fi Map. So let me quickly tell you a little bit more about the project I represent. So Wi-Fi Map is one of the OG DePIN projects that's solving real-world problems through decentralization. So we started with a simple idea: create a global map of Wi-Fi hotspots to keep everyone connected. And fast forward 10 years, and we've grown into a platform with 185 million downloads, 5 million monthly active users, and 30 million contributors who keep adding new hotspots to our map through a crowdsourcing model. So Wi-Fi Map is a prime example of how the PIN can transform internet access, and we are building a global network where every user becomes part of the infrastructure by sharing the Wi-Fi access points and passwords. And every Wi-Fi Map user is both a consumer and a provider. So when you share Wi-Fi info, you're helping to expand a decentralized network, giving millions of people access to Wi-Fi worldwide. And in return, you get access to hotspots wherever you are, saving on mobile data and always staying connected. But over the years, our mission has expanded beyond just internet connectivity. So right now, we want to help people in more ways. We want to guide them to places where they can find drinking waters, help them locate public restrooms, give them the ability to find crypto ATMs, and even direct them to the places that can save lives, like public defibrillators. And that's why in the near future, we are planning to add new layers to our map, featuring all the amenities I just mentioned. And what powers all of this? It's our Wi-Fi token, which is already listed on several major exchanges. And users could earn tokens by adding hotspots, redeem them for premium services inside our app, and even send them as a thank you to other contributors who add valuable locations. So I guess that's a quick overview of how we're building a truly decentralized solution for everyday needs. And we've got even bigger goals on the horizon to keep empowering our community in more ways than ever. Thank you.
Thank you, man. All right, ATM.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Lee. I'm from ATM. I'm the marketing executive, and I'm very happy to deliver this talk and on behalf of ATM. ATM actually stands for Autonomous Trust Momentum. It's not the ATM that you see on the street. The ATM is a layer 2 peer-to-peer staking platform based on the Binance Smart Chain. It allows users to make multiple tokens bi-directionally with each other, so it's two parties involved. Broadly speaking, ATM is a meta community based on the concept of relative consensus and the connection between each other. So people can connect with each other by our supported tokens and get rewards from this connection and create trust and momentum in the community. So basically, users they stake and make connections onto the platform by multiple very many supported tokens and receive daily rewards by the form of our native token Luca. That's what we do, and we have many features to launch in the future. Currently, we have game farms, and in future we'll have decentralized messaging platform, and also the AI, and traveling, and also make payments by crypto to travel and buy the flight tickets and hotel, something like that. Yeah, that's pretty much of the ATM, and we will have our game and AI launch event in Thailand next month. So yeah, we'll talk about that later on if we have time. All right, just mention that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, man. All right, Inferix GPU.
Uh, Hi guys, I'm Nguyen, Chief of Growth at Infrix GPU. We are decentralized GPU network for visual computing. That means we not only have a decentralized GPU network, but we have a rendering layers. So our platform is solve the problem of a 3D rendering via AR render on a single laptop or PC. So you can render via our platform using the laptop and PC much faster than rendering on the computer. We use blockchain technology to crowdsource the unused distributed GPU globally, and we are deep in project. Currently, we join and we are backed by IoTex and Foresight Ventures and Shima. Yeah. So in short, we use blockchain to crowdsource the uh, distributed computing for the Web2 market. So we use Web3 to leverage the compute and apply it for the Web2 is in the visual computing. So our target client is like game studio, movie studio producers, and designers for to help them leverage our compute strength and deliver much faster, cheaper cost of 3D render. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, man. All right, and I might pronounce this wrong, but Crystal.
I think we're gonna go with Crystal.
All right, that works.
Hey everyone, this is Barwin. I am a co-founder at Crystal, and I am Chief Non-Programming Officer. So we have a team of talent and engineer, and then I'm actually doing most of the other stuff with the help of some other people. So in short, actually, with Crystal, we wanted to take some of the components that Web3 enables, such as actually trustless transactions, decentralized marketplaces, which have been used a lot in DeFi, for example, and apply that to some other areas of the blockchain industry. And in particular, actually, we're looking at Web3 infrastructure. And so at Crystal, we are building a marketplace for Web3 infra. And in short, builders will go actually and declare intent of what they need for their project. So they might be needing indexers, RPCs, compute, DA, whatever components that they need for their project. And so they describe this in terms of like goals and outcomes that they want to achieve. And then we have a decentralized group of solvers that will go and bid to deploy these pieces for them. Now, here it pretty much looks like a straightforward marketplace of suppliers and buyers, but the twist with Crystal is that we are employing a proof of performance mechanism. And so we want to achieve a model where if the infra that you have bought through the marketplace does not perform, then you don't pay, or you pay proportionally to how well it performs. And with that, we want to create an incentive for solvers always building better quality proposals and better quality infrastructure, be more competitive on pricing, and ultimately the builders will be able to find the best solutions for their projects and outsource them confidently that they were not going to, screwed or make a choice that is not reliable, because there will always be actually these competitive solvers that are bidding to take over the infrastructure and run it in the most optimal way.
Awesome, man. Cool. Glad to have you, bro. All right. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, no worries. Okay, before we jump into the set of questions, guys, just want to remind you guys one more time to like, comment, and retweet out to space. Definitely helps us all out. Also, if you like what you hear, throw up some emojis as well. That also helps with engagement. But yeah, without further ado, guys, we'll go ahead and start with the questions. So if you haven't been here before, I like to ask a little bit of a different questions sometimes, and questions just to kind of get to know you guys a little bit as well. So yeah, it's going to kind of be a mix of that today. But the first question is going to be kind of about competition, I guess. So the question is, everybody wants to offer something that's more efficient, more unique, or different in this space, right? So how do you guys handle competition in your respective sectors, particularly as the landscape that we're in kind of becomes more crowded? Or do you feel that you're currently standing alone and that you're kind of the leader in that sector and there's really nobody else? So we're going to start from top to bottom again. So we'll go with Ape.Bond.
Love this question. Can you guys hear me? I've been having a lot of trouble hearing everyone else.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. That's probably just a space
Okay,
thing.
cool. Yeah, classic. Okay, awesome. Yeah, from our perspective, honestly, this is a really interesting one because we actually started out in, I'd say, a segment that was a lot more competitive in DeFi, which is obviously the DEX side of things. We came up at a time where there weren't a ton of DEXs, so we were able to grow pretty popular very, very quickly in a short period of time. But then the market got crazy oversaturated off the heels of DeFi summer. I mean, even like the year after that, especially on BNB chain, and it was just madness, right? Everybody had a DEX at that time for a short period of time, and it was difficult to stand out. And obviously, Dex tokenomics, especially UniV2 forks, were highly inflationary just by their very nature. So it was a really competitive space to be in, and honestly, that's a big part of the reason why we turned towards bonds as an alternative. A big part of it was so that we could keep building liquidity on the Dex in a more sustainable way than having projects rely on yield farming, which was kind of the playbook back in the day for dexes to make like pool farm deals with projects a couple of years ago. But obviously, again, not super sustainable. And so we looked to bonds as a solution to grow additional liquidity on the dex. And then we quickly realized that we had stumbled onto something more, and that it wasn't just for liquidity and could actually be used for blue chip stables, etc. But what's been interesting for us is on the competitive side of things, like we've had a few competitors on the bonds side of things crop up. Namely, I think Bond Protocol was a pretty big project that has recently slowed down a bit, and they're actually, we know the founders quite well. They're working on a new project now, and they kind of have slowed down again on the bond side of things. We even had Sushi for a bit try their hand at doing bonds, but it's been interesting to see. I mean, I guess it's a tough market, or maybe we've found a way to crack it. I'm not sure, but we're definitely in a position where today most of the competition has, I mean, they're either aren't there or they've faltered, or haven't really seen the success that they wanted to see. And meanwhile, we've managed to keep growing. So it's been pretty exciting. I'm not, I mean, I like to say that we have the secret sauce on that side of things, and we're definitely excited about it. But at the end of the day, like we definitely welcome competition. Truthfully, I wish, the on-chain OTC market would grow a little bit more, and that we'd see more competitors just so the pie could get a bit bigger for everyone. But we'll get there. We still feel like we're very much early. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, and you guys are a great example of this. I remember back, I used to work for a project like a couple years back, and we had a DEX. We were going cross chain and different stuff like that. And, I was looking at you guys as competition because I was like, okay, what are they doing that's working out well? And, it was always a thought that was in the back of my mind as the project manager. So that was pretty interesting. And to now get to talk to you, of course, in this kind of capacity. Yeah, you guys, it's kind of like almost like a perfect example of how a pivot can kind of be, better, more beneficial in the long term. Because I don't even see any other bond marketplaces, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that you said, you kind of welcome competition. I mean, obviously, competition does kind of breed innovation a little bit, but you're even willing to kind of let other people kind of get in on the pie, so to speak.
To a certain extent, right? I'm a big believer that, I mean, I feel like we've done a good job of positioning ourselves in the market. I'm a big believer that a rising tide lifts all ships, right? And so I think, like, at the end of the day, I'd rather have 60% market share of a $1 billion plus market, or
Yeah,
whatever it is, than 100% market share of $100 million market. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%, and that makes a lot of sense. All right, man. Yeah, great answer to the question, bro. Thank you. All right, Wi-Fi map.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the question. Really interesting topic, and I guess in the Web3 space, competition is intense because everyone is trying to bring something innovative to the table, and our strategy at Wi-Fi Map isn't just about competing head to head. It's about leveraging what makes us unique and creating value in ways that others can't. And one of our biggest advantages is our crowdsource model. So where millions of users contribute to building the network, and this gives us an edge as the strength of our platforms grows organically through the contributions of a global community, something that's not easily duplicated by, I don't know, some centralized services. And moreover, this allows us to offer a great number of hotspots to our users. Moreover, we also focus on continuous evolution. So while we began, as I said, with Wi-Fi hotspots, we have expanded our offering, and right now our free app is something like an ecosystem with integrated VPN, eSIM for like different locations, and some other digital services that enhance user experience. And as I said, we are going to add new layers to the map. And I guess last but not least is that we handle competition through collaborative partnerships, and instead of viewing other projects in the Web3 space solely as competitors, we actively seek to work together by partnering with some exciting projects and integrating their offerings into our ecosystem. For example, we have recently launched our marketplace. So we create mutual benefits and expand what we can provide to our users. And yeah, as I said, our marketplace is one way we channel traffic to great projects, helping both our partners and our community grow. So rather than focusing purely on competing, we aim to stand out by being community-driven, diverse in our offerings, and open to collaboration, which helps us maintain our leadership position in the sector.
Yeah, that also makes a lot of sense. Plus, I mean, you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but the DePIN sector is a little bit kind of in its infancy right now, right?
Yeah, that's true. Right now, we see some great evolving DePIN projects, and which, for example, are related to other sectors than Wi-Fi or travel amenities. But we are always ready to establish new partnerships with such DePIN projects, because we are sure that something could be interesting for our community.
Yeah, and that's great. I think when a new sector is kind of coming to the forefront or maybe trying to blossom, like it's even better that you have quote competition, because it's more like people that you can work with to kind of spread the same goals, which is more industry share as a whole. So yeah, that makes sense, man. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Awesome.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, ATM.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, speaking of the competition, actually, there are not many competitors in this domain, because we start from different idea, kind of very innovative. Because firstly, so the idea stands out is our visions. Our visions are connections. So the core concept is that we believe in everything is based on a connection, and anything that you can think of can be represented as a connection. So this is not like a very commonly seen the concept in this like the market. For example, our society, our friends, relationships can be represented as a connection. And you do some shoppings, you buy the coffee. You're not just buying the coffee; you associate with yourself to the brand, to the image, right? So you connect with the world and you connect with everything. So the connection is the key to our society. So we put this idea into our ATM community. So our key idea is to bridge all the elements, either socially, financially, environmentally, or in your life, or more and more. So where the connection will exist and very essential to, in this community. And the secondly, I think it's the nature of ATM. The ATM is so we emphasize on the connection, so we are not exclude like others, and we promote the collaboration. So we are the community of communities. So as we have mentioned, we make connections and buy different supported tokens, multiple tokens from like other chains. For example, you can also make connections by Bitcoin, by Ethereum, by any other chains like meme coins also. So we don't exclude those. We also include into our ATM community. So there's kind of we eliminate those competition actually. And certainly, I think we have the technology to consolidate our technology performance. So we have a specialized the innovative PR ranking system that is developed by us and inspired by the Google ranking, Google PR ranking. This is this algorithm contribute to the community by those connections, and we reward those people and those users who make more connections and make quality connections between each other. So we reward them with our native tokens. And also, lastly, I think is the use case realization. We realized many of our features, so it's kind of very practical community that people can really enjoy and put their Luca into something real. For example, we have the game fund online. People can invest in their favorite game by the Luca, and also they can purchase the traveling related stuff like tickets, hotel. You can purchase those by Luca. So it's kind of very practical. To people like to live in this kind of environment and a community. And also in the future, we will develop more features and goals, including the decentralized social platform, and also the loyalty rewarding system, and also the AI, and including different AIs. And also our mindset doesn't change. We include many mainstream AI and we integrate them. We're not as a competitor to them. So yeah, the reality is that we have been here for 3 years, and we operate well, and we keep doing what we want, what we are thinking of, what we believe in. So that's why I think, yeah, there's kind of a small issue for that.
Yeah, it's kind of a maybe a weird question to ask you guys then, since kind of everything you do is based on a collaborative effort, it seems. So there's not really a quote unquote competition problem for you guys at all. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. Kind of different.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
it's kind of a
something.
different approach. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting, guys. Yeah, great answer, man. Okay. I'm trying to get. Okay, are they back? Let's see. Inferix, are you guys good?
Yeah, yeah, good. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, about the competition. Actually, we our Web3 business inflict disrupt our Web2 business. We already started back in 2018 as a centralized rendering business. It's the interior rendering business for the called How 3D. So everyone can go to How 3D to design their own home interior and then render it. But our CEO Freddie, he also engineer. He saw the problem of very costly into that kind of business and thinking to decentralized the cloud rendering, um, and we coding the a network that can leverage the unused GPU globally. And we launched our MVP in November last year, and we testing, and we saw that with the simple PC or laptop, uh, one user can render like much faster. For example, if you render 3D video on your own laptop using your own GPU, that is take around 10 hours. But with also that 3D videos, you use our platform via your laptop, and you can crowdsource three or five more GPU, and it's only take around 30 minutes to 1 hour to render, and with the cost already cut half. So our competitor actually is, in Web3 is Render Network is very famous. They also deep in project, but they and crowdsource GPU, but I think they are very much in the AI now. Uh, Other competitors, most of them are now Web2, like Super Render Farm, but our cost is half of cost of Super Render Farm in the 3D rendering. Yeah, that's the landscape of our decentralized visual computing business. Yeah.
So you guys were kind of like your own competition in a way, because if I understand correctly, like, there was a Web 2 way to do this, and then you guys
Yeah.
saw a more efficient way in Web 3. Okay, so you're your own competition. That's pretty interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. Cool. All right. Crystal.
Sure. I think I would lean more towards saying the main competition is the old way of doing things for us, like the traditional way of selecting, exploring infra. I personally actually worked on a couple of projects before, so I was leading BD initiatives at Consensus and also at Polygon. And what I learned in those two roles is that the power of aggregation actually and the composability in the Web3 space is quite powerful. So for instance, like MetaMask is as powerful as it is because it aggregates multiple dexes and brings them into a simple user experience for the buyer. Polygon also, the latest roadmap, they're focusing on the ag layer, which is really bringing all these chains together and having them sharing into the liquidity. And so with Crystal, we deploying a kind of a similar approach as well. Ourselves, for instance, we are not creating new products per se, but Crystal in itself aggregates products that already exist today that perhaps are hard to deploy, to understand, to evaluate for builders, and making that easier. So if I'll take the example, for instance, of our testnet that we just launched recently, this allows a builder to go and say, for example, I'm looking for a data availability for my project. And then what we are doing, we're purely actually educating them, first of all, through some metrics and dashboards, but also with an AI assistant, guiding them into which one of the existing DAs is the best solution for them. So perhaps it's Celestia, perhaps it's Avail, and also bringing a market and ecosystem of these infra service providers that will go and deploy these DAs for them and manage for them. And so we are actually bringing multiple personas, multiple participants into this mix together so they can produce a better outcome. And with this, it would be the hardest competition would be really to convince these different parties that today already working the way they're working, that there is added value in collaborating all together and coming to a common marketplace. So that's actually the mantra we're following here, and we are seeing some traction in the market as well in terms of this narrative. And so, again, talking at the data availability example, many projects now are starting to see the benefit of aggregated DA or kind of like a multi-DA. So it's not about selecting one, but having a layer on top of the multiple ones and then using them for the best use case. So Crystal fits perfectly in that one, which is, the builder declares their intent of what they want to achieve. And then dynamically in the back, you have these multi-party either collaborating or competing, among themselves to offer the best solution. And we are the facilitator for that. So this is a totally novel way of dealing with infra deployments. We're not seeing a lot of competition at this moment, but if we manage to prove our thesis that this is ultimately the most efficient way for builders to select and deploy infra, then yeah, perhaps we'll see more projects actually doing the same, and that's welcome because that's validation to our hypothesis.
Yeah, and competition, of course, breeds innovation, at least in theory, right? And you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but it would seem like the biggest competition you would have is like making sure that what you're aggregating is quality for one, but also offering like the best customer service for people who are looking for help with what they're building. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, in a way, but also like we're not gonna we're gonna try not to fall into the trap of a Web2 business as well. Like we're not gonna be an entity, centralized entity that offers this customer service and so on, but mostly using the Web3 mechanics, such as actually smart contract-based proofs, smart contract-based escrows between the buyer and the seller. So everybody actually held accountable through on-chain metrics. And this hopefully will create this trustless relationship and then incentivize relationship as well. But at the same time, keep that exit part, which is, for example, if builder selects a particular deployment and that doesn't work out, then they should be able to switch immediately to a better deployment or to a better path. So with these principles, we are hoping to minimize the need for that kind of like back and forth and support, etc., and having to be a bottleneck in the process.
Okay, great. Yeah, that makes more sense. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, okay. Definitely a little bit better than a Web2 approach. And yeah, you guys don't want to have to deal with customer service. It's not very fun. So, all right, great, man. Cool. Well, thank you guys. That was the first question. I appreciate all of your answers to that. We're going to go ahead and move on to the second question. Um, I wouldn't really call this a controversial question. Maybe it is a little bit. It's just more about an industry question as a whole, how you guys feel about things. But the question is, we see a lot of Web3 projects that kind of launch, tokens before having a working product or anything like that. Do you think that the space has become a bit too focused on speculation and quick profits rather than building meaningful long-term solutions? And there's no right or wrong answer here, guys. It's kind of whatever you guys think, and there's maybe reasons to, deploy a token before you have anything else. But just kind of curious. We'll start from top to bottom again. So Ape.Bond.
Actually, yeah, it's a really interesting question because I would argue that I think we were very much in that kind of world, or like our industry was very much in that mentality of like deploy token first. I mean, especially it kind of was a fundraising vehicle to build stuff for a bit, sort of. But I feel like people got way too impatient, and then everybody, it's like, okay, we ICO'd or we IDO'd and we need the funds to actually build the thing, but it's been 3 months and the community's going crazy. You know what I mean? So I mean, on the one hand, I guess it depends on like the path you're going down, as a project. Like if you're going down the path of fully everything on chain, fair launch, or we're raising from users, etc., then like it could make sense, because if you didn't have the money to build the thing before and you're raising on chain, I could see that. But if you're like most projects today, where I feel like a lot of them are going and kind of pre-selling the token, or fundraising from investors before they even come on chain, yeah, I think we're definitely a little bit still seeing a lot of that, unfortunately. But what's interesting is I feel like the points farming system and the points meta has kind of flipped that around a little bit, at least for the bigger projects, so the ones that are really trying to go for the biggest launch as possible. And there's some smaller ones too doing points farming, but definitely not the same level of traction. But the points farming thing, I mean, for the most part, right, you've got outliers, I guess, like Blast and some others, but a lot of them, it's forced them to kind of build the product, have something live, at least like um, a MVP or something that users can actually play around with and use, so that they can start earning points. So I feel like it's kind of flipped the meta around a little bit, which I hadn't really thought of before. But it's interesting, and definitely feels like we're getting back to like products to a certain extent. I mean, I say to a certain extent because there's a huge difference, it feels like, between the vast majority of long tail assets in crypto versus the few outliers out there. Like Polymarket, I think, is a great example. And several others that are, I mean, they're not officially doing points farming, I don't think, but there's several others that are. And so yeah, I don't know, I feel like we're moving away from that more and more. And I think the ability for founders and projects to just come in and effectively use the token as a quick liquidity game, before they really have anything built, is quickly dwindling, thankfully.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering because I mean, I'm sure you guys see obviously a lot of projects, come through you or, looking for bonds or whatever. So it's an interesting perspective. To be honest with you, man, I like to be educated as well. So I'm not actually 100% what is points farming exactly.
Like what you've seen with like Blast and a few of these other I feel like it mainly started with blockchains doing it, and then I think now you've got a few like liquid staking derivative projects that have done it, but effectively just use the platform in order to earn points, and the points eventually translate into a massive airdrop. Is the
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, okay. I don't think I haven't been in a project that does that, but I guess it does make a lot of sense. And by the way, I just want to, excuse me, clarify. I didn't ask this question from like a hating perspective. I know a lot of people release tokens to kind of build things, to get the funding to get off the ground because it's, part of the idea behind all this stuff, right? But A, sometimes it doesn't come about, and B, I think they don't really get the point across to their community well enough that it's going to take a little longer than 3 months. And we all
Yeah.
know, I mean, we all know that like the what's what I'm looking for, attention span in this space is very lacking. So,
That
yeah,
honestly, that's something that we saw like a lot of, especially in the last cycle, less so now, but we saw a lot of projects go into it with really good, high ambition and good, good intentions, right? Just thinking, hey, we're gonna do this. But I think what a lot of people ended up realizing, and definitely what we realized working with so many different token projects, is like having a token is a liability. It's not like you can just raise using a token and then go quietly build for 2 years behind the scenes. You know what I
right.
mean? Without dropping any updates. It's like once the token is out, like you've let the beasts out of the cage, and now your community is going to be in your Telegram channel every single day asking when Moon, when Binance, when token going
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? So, I know for a lot of people that ended up being very overwhelming and stressful, and led a lot of like founders that had good intentions to not rug, I would say, but just kind of give up because it was just too much trying to juggle building and appeasing the community constantly.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a good time for anybody. Yeah, and it's that's what we kind of preach around here as well as like some patience, and patience is a virtue that is often not seen here. But yeah, thanks, man. Great answer. Wi-Fi map.
Yeah, thank you. That's really a great point, and it's something we are seeing across the Web3 space. Tendency to launch tokens without clear utility or real-world value. And in my opinion, the creation of a token should always be driven by utility, not hype. And a token by itself doesn't mean much unless it has a meaningful role in the ecosystem. And as a project which has a token, we made sure that our Wi-Fi token actually serves a purpose. So in our case, it incentivizes users to contribute valuable data by adding new hotspots, which helps us expand our global network, and also users could like redeem those tokens for some premium services or just to say thank you to other members of the community. And like this creates a circular economy where the token has genuine utility and the value is tied directly to how useful the platform is. And like in my opinion, the key is to focus on the value the token brings to both the project and the users. If it's just there to generate buzz or speculation, it's unlikely to have long-term success. So projects that focus on real-world use case and solving actual problems with the token integrated as part of that solution, that's like a great way to stand out. And tokens should enable better user experiences, incentivize growth, and like help build sustainable ecosystem. Otherwise, in my opinion, they risk being irrelevant in the long run. That's it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my opinion as well. And something I see a lot of times that I don't really see talked about a lot is there's a lot of companies out there or projects that, sometimes I ask the question of like, why did you guys choose to have a token? Because it's not really necessary for what you're doing necessarily, right? I mean, there are other ways for people to invest in your project and get a return, whether it's like stable coins or, some other token or whatever. It doesn't always have to be that. I think the meta is like you have to have a token or whatever, but I don't necessarily think that's the case personally sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. I guess maybe even like some of them, and maybe I don't know what, but maybe they even don't understand like what's the purpose of the token. So they just like have an idea like I need to create the token, and that's it. And after that, they do it, and they don't know like forward.
Yeah, exactly. You should have strong tokenomics first and a use case for your token, I think, for the most part. But yeah, great answer, man.
Thank you.
No worries. ATM.
Oh yes, thank you. You also ask very good questions every time I attend it. I will say, such a great discussion. And yeah, and speaking of yeah, the opinion before, maybe they're not like they don't know about tokens. Maybe they don't know too much about the tokens. They know that they will definitely make money from it. I think that's maybe the case in the real world. So so yeah, following only my personal opinion, and I think so definitely, to be honest, the speculation is the main impression to other people. I mean, outside the Web3. So no matter how we argue here, we have a discussion or we debate, okay, that's okay, or we have different opinions here. But outside Web3, the Web2 people or normal people, like most majority of the world now, they think that Web3 is a place that people make quick money. They speculate. They just they just scam the people that's following like a behind, and they get the money from others. So that's what I get from like most of my friends, most of like different Web2 people. They are thinking about the Web3. This is how the situation now is. So we like as a ATM, why I want to join ATM is because this project is doing something that's really happened. For example, I give many instances like examples that we made the game fund, right? The traveling, you can actually use your token to do something in the real world and also getting the rewards from the system. And we have the whole algorithm for you to get the rewards. You are likely to live in this community. So we also believe the power of connections because it's very strong. And what is more fundamental is not the tokenomics. The tokenomics is important. I mean, it's the economic like foundation. But what is more fundamental is that you need to build something for users, right? However, I have to say it's the reality. We need the funds to take off from the ground, and we need to get the project started. But at least we need to do something. Actually, it happened in the real life. No, like not only speculating, it's making money. Uh, yes, that's the reality, right? Uh, you start a business, you want to make money and make profit, that's okay, but care about the users and you make something real really happened in the real life. It's way far more important than the only launch a token the first and then quit and get the money out. That's not the case for the Web3. I think I believe the environment will become better in the future, and I do hope so. Yes, that's very personal, and hope that's expressed clearly.
Yeah, that's a great answer, man. Honestly, I think that's why you see RWAs getting so much traction because they actually have like this is tied to something that's real. It's not 100% based on speculation. That's why there's a lot of hype around it because I think it kind of makes our industry look a little bit better to have things like RWAs out there in conjunction with speculative assets and stuff, right? Because it just adds some legitimacy to it. And you are 100% correct. That is how the vast majority of people kind of view us in the world, and it's kind of unfortunate. And I think that has to do a lot with For better or worse, if we're talking about like meme coins or something, right? Yeah, somebody can get very rich very quickly. Um, one of the things they don't really talk about is how many people lose on a daily basis, right? So there's a lot to consider there. And I think that, the narratives that we choose to kind of run with to make this more of a mainstream thing really does matter. So, we'll see in the future, but I think there's a place for both. Just kind of
Yeah, yeah,
depends,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally. Because arguably now is very popular raising in current recently, right? Because they have the connection with the real world. People now we are a 3D people. We can't get into the internet for now. Actually, not for now, but maybe in the future. But Web3 is now the dream of us, and we are pursuing that. So in the middle, we need a transaction period. That is the thing that's connect Web3 and the real world. That's what we need to do in the starting stage. We're not getting like a jump to the conclusion that we set everything on the Web3. That's not real. It's ideal, but it's not realistic. So we need to have a find the middle point here, as you said. So we need to do something step by step, and we can see in the future. But I believe in the future, most of the majority will agree on us, and we can have. If we can stand until that time, we'll definitely be at the giants or the most successful one. Yes.
Yeah, 100%, man. And yeah, you are right. We cannot currently jack into the matrix, so we have to exist in this world. I'm not sure that we really want to, if we could, but yeah, great answer, man. All right, Infurix.
I think token of crypto is really interesting, and it's to us, to me it's very important. Not only because for fundraise, but it is for you to have a to as a marketing tool to crowdsource. First is to crowdsource a GPU provider, and to have a community around the project that's in its infancy. Our decentralized GPU network is actually when generate revenue. We our client have to pay us to use our rendering service. I use our rendering software, and we use 80% of our revenue to buy back the token and burn to manage the supply and demand of the token, to make sure that to manage the inflationary of the token. Actually, I love the book. I love the writing in the book of critics can read right on. He writing about the faucet and sink and how to manage the supply and demand of the token project. If in the Web 2, if you want to raise the capital, you have to raise via equity, and your investor often only cash out when you list on the stock market or in Series B, Series C, and they sell to other investor. But the token you have your investor, and your investor can cash out when you launch the token and list on decentralized chain. So I think flow liquidity is a faster in the Web 3, and I think the crypto is very important for the entrepreneur when you build a project and you need to have a blood, right, to survive.
Yeah, I think you might have rugged a little bit there, but yeah. So the thing is like whatever you are, if you're going to use like a token, right, to fundraise and things, I think the number one thing you have to do is like you're talking about, make sure that you have a good tokenomic, especially for dealing with inflation of your token. If it's possible to mint or different things like that. The other thing is again kind of goes back to setting that expectation of your community, and if you are using a token to if it's completely speculative or you're using it to help you build the product in itself, you have to set like a clear parameter of what your community is going to expect, right? So it's a constant thing that you have to do. So you're going to deal with those people, kind of like Ape.Bond was saying, where it's like when Binance, when Moon, when whatever. And to that point, you have to be really diligent at all times because there's going to be a lot of FUD or a lot of random things that are going to kind of stand in your way. So you just have to be consistent with it and set it from the beginning. Like, hey guys, this isn't going to be an overnight thing. This is going to be a multi-year kind of deal. A year-long deal, however long you think the time frame is going to be. But I think that's where a lot of people, kind of like Ape.Bond was saying as well, where they kind of just give up or they get kind of frustrated with it because they feel like their community is a little bit I don't know if I want to say against them, but I guess that is kind of the way to put it. It's antagonistic, right? It becomes antagonistic. So if you don't know how to manage that well enough, it's going to cause a lot of strife for you. So yeah, just my thoughts, a little bit more on that. But yeah, Crestall. Let's see.
So I believe actually the speakers before me just covered a lot of good angles about the topic of the token and its need in a project. So perhaps actually what I want to do is summarize a little bit, right? So the consensus here is that a project should have to create and generate real world economic activity, exchange of goods and services in that way. And once you have now this economic activity, now and generally it could even operate with USD, right? So when you have exchanges between buyers and sellers, it can happen that way. And then the token should come as a complement to that. And perhaps to give like a real world example of this one, if we think about airlines, we believe that airlines are valued based on the number of tickets that the travelers book. But if you research into it, and this research has been done, so you can read about it as well, like the biggest part of the valuation of an airline is its point system, its loyalty system. And so the point system and loyalty system is used between actually flyers and as well as a network of merchants that value that loyalty point and can exchange it for goods, again, as a derivative of the main economic activity of the airline, which is the airline flying tickets. And so this is a successful model, and it has been applied in the Web2 world, let's call it, in the real world, many times successfully. And crypto projects, the healthy ones, should embark on a similar journey, whereby what's your main product? How can it generate value to its users and have an economic activity? And then there is a token on the side that allows you to create a second layer of collaboration between the participants in your network, whether those are validators or stakers or retail investors, etc., and have a value for that token itself that is derived from the project. And so in my recommendation to most projects, and certainly what we were trying to apply at Crestel as well, is similar thing as well. So you are a marketplace, you're exchanging digital real world goods and services. There is economic activity of that, and then blockchain and the tokenization aspect gives you this capacity of creating a loyalty system in a way that can allow these different participants to accrue additional value from the initial product that you're participating in building. And that's really something we want to build along those lines. And hopefully, as our tokenomics come online and some people see it, they will get a sense of that there is a first stress on real exchanges happening with real money between buyers and sellers, but then the token is there to strengthen the economic security of the protocol, to reward good behaviors, and to also create secondary transactions that people can do either to stake and generate yield or support the participants as they see fit in this protocol.
Damn, that's actually a really good example, man. I wouldn't have even thought about that. It's almost like a proto example of how you can implement tokenomics. I never would have thought of airlines in that regard, but yeah, I guess you're 100% correct, right? Damn.
I'd like to
Okay,
think so.
great.
It's a bit late here, so sometimes I ramble, but this is really the general idea.
No, I don't think it was rambling at all, man. That's an interesting perspective on it that I wouldn't have ever thought of. But yeah, great way to put it. Great way to sum it up, man. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. That was a lot of great answers. Really appreciate all that. So, thanks, guys. All right. Cool, guys. Well, we've reached about the end of the session. So, what I like to do every time that I have a space is just kind of give you guys the floor. So, this is a couple minutes for you guys to talk about anything new you got going on, where people could find you, basically, whatever you want to talk about. The floor is yours. So, I'm going to start from bottom to top with this one. So, Crestel, you're actually up again, man.
Thanks. So I guess the biggest news for us is that the testnet is live as of last week. And so this is a big milestone for our early project. Now, this testnet is open to everybody. We recognize that different people will get different things from it. In the testnet, there is actually an analytics part where everybody who's researching crypto projects, or in particular in the modular space, can go and see some real metrics about how these projects perform, other than economic metrics, but real actually technology metrics, and make an opinion. We have also like an AI module that helps builders with their ideas and how they structure them and how they break them down into requirements. So this, everybody can use it. But then also we have the first version of the marketplace functioning, where if you are indeed a builder and you require a particular infrastructure piece, you can get proposals and you can spin it up in a few clicks and use it in your project. And so we hope to invite all the listeners to try it out. And then, of course, if you are on the lighter side, research, ideation, use the AI and the analytics model. If you are more of a builder side, we would love to speak to you and see a little bit how the marketplace can bring value to your business.
Yeah, very interesting. And I'm sure some of the guys here would like to reach out to you about that as well. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. All right. In Fergs, how's your connection again?
It's good now. Sorry. Uh, yeah, we already our product already run the MVPs, and you can try our MVP if you are designer or your game studio. You can try our rendering platform with Blender Cycle. Um, it's will be much faster for your business. Um, we will also speak in Singapore Token 2049 at the Real World Pin by Mesari and IoTex. And we will have a showcase there. If you came to Singapore at that time, hope to meet you guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I believe that we'll be stopping by there as well. So great.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Cool. ATM.
All right, thanks. Yeah, thanks for the space for us to say something about the latest updates. And definitely, yes, I mentioned it several times during this discussion. We will have our Game Fund event in Thailand. It's a pretty big event. About like 300 people will get involved. This Game Fund is actually, you can use your Luca and you can use the crypto to invest actually to the game, and you can play it. And that's the things that I was discussing about, is that you can actually do something in the real world by the crypto. And also, if you have like traveling traveling to Thailand, we also provide the traveling channel that you can buy the tickets from the ATM, and you can pay by Luca, pay by the crypto. That's all fine. So we want to put like as smooth as possible to make you to the event, and also to make you to connect the crypto to the real world as soon as possible and as smooth as possible. And also yes, please follow the ATM official Twitter account, that you can see more updates about the event, and we will realize more details on the Thailand event, about the game, about the traveling. And also, if any of the other projects here in this discussion, if you are interested in this, we can have a discuss about the sponsorship, and we can have cross marketing also. Because we are a community of communities, so we include as many as projects we can to enjoy this ecosystem, this like a crypto event. So yeah, I'm happy to chat with all of you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, man. And I usually say this to the end, but a couple people have mentioned it now. But yeah, if you guys could please follow everybody and follow each other, never know what could come of it. So yeah, it's great. And if you guys are in
Yeah,
Thailand,
definitely, yes.
yeah, and if you guys are in Thailand, check the event out. Awesome, man. Wi-Fi, Matt.
Yeah, first of all, thank you once again for such a great session, and it's always a pleasure to participate. So thank you very much. Few words at the end. As I said several times, our main focus at Wi-Fi Map is moving forward on expanding strategic partnerships with standout Web3 projects. And we believe it's essential for our growing user base to consistently discover and engage with the most cutting-edge innovations the Web3 space has to offer. So our platform serves as a bridge between those top-tier projects and our army of users who are eager to explore new tools, services, and opportunities in the Web3 world. So to drive these collaborations, we are actively leveraging two key channels. First of all, it's our newly launched marketplace, which acts as a showcase for Web3 projects. By featuring offers from high-quality partners, we are able to direct significant traffic and attention to these projects, helping them gain exposure to our global community. And our users are always looking for new ways to enhance their experience, and this marketplace provides them with direct access to the best Web3 innovations available. And we are very happy to discuss any kind of partnerships in this way. And also we are open to a wide variety of different co-marketing activities and partnerships, whether it's through joint campaigns, community events, exclusive collaborations, or other creative initiatives. We are always on the lookout for new opportunities to work together with like-minded projects. And we aim to build partnerships that not only align with our vision, but also create tangible benefits for the community. So would be happy to stay in touch with all kind of such projects. And a bit of personal information. Next week, I will be attending Token 2049 in Singapore. So I would be really happy to meet everyone in person and explore any kind of synergies. Thank you once again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you being here, bro. All right. And the sponsor of our space for this week, Ape.Bond. What's up with you guys?
Hey. So as a lot of you guys have probably gathered by now, our product is very much live and running at the moment. We have a massive community of users always looking for new tokens to discover on Ape.Bond. We also have quite a few white labels that work with us that allow us to distribute the tokens that we onboard to a lot of other platforms and users. You've probably heard of quite a few of them. AI Tech is a major launchpad and white label of ours. QuickSwap is a major launchpad and white label of ours. And we have several more coming in the pipeline. So if you're looking for tons of exposure, marketing, etc., definitely reach out. We are here to help you guys not only get more out of your token, but also get in front of more users and hungry users that are excited about your project. Also, we'll be in Singapore next week for Token 2049. We're also hosting an event. So if anybody's interested in attending, feel free to DM us here, or you can DM me as well at Julian ApeSwap, and we'll be sure to get you in. And then beyond that, also happy to schedule any in-person meetings if you guys want to chat further, learn more about what we're up to and what we can do for you. And beyond that, just excited to have been on, and thank you guys so much for putting on another great space.
Yeah, excited to have you as well, man. And thank you for making it possible this week as well. We really appreciate that. All right, cool. Well, sounds like you guys have a lot of opportunities to meet up with each other. Also, we will be releasing information about Web3 Amsterdam event next year in March. So we're finalizing some stuff for that, and be on the lookout for that soon. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you are a project that is listening, I saw some requests and some different projects pop in during this time. If you guys are interested in being on the space, just send me a DM and we'll see what we can do about getting you up here yourself. But yeah, guys, so this has been Web3 Global Talks, episode 167, powered by Ape.Bond. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for episode 168. But until then, stay safe, everybody, and talk to you tomorrow.